It's Big Dunk. You guys know what time it is. We got some more music to talk about. So I mean, between Christmas and just my natural spending habits, got some new records that I've added to my collection. Two of them I did briefly mention at the end of the video with the White Widow pen. That was like a month ago. And then, these other ones have come in more recently, most of them from Christmas. So, we're just going to talk about them. I've really enjoyed making these videos for you guys because, this is something that I've been getting into a lot. It's like a new hobby of mine. And then, to see people absolutely loving the videos, the last one I posted of me talking about my records was like my fastest growing video yet. So, thank you guys for allowing me to, branch out and not just do what I've been doing for a while. So, keeping with what I did in the last videos, I'm still going to show you guys, the little clip of it playing on the turntable. So you can A, get a sample of the music, and B, see what the record looks like. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So these I'm just going in backwards chronologically. So the one that was released the farthest away, I'm going now. And then the most recent one will be the last one I talk about. So the first one that was released way back in 1975. And this is an absolute classic album. We have Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Now this album, let me just show off the cover first. Absolutely iconic front cover. You got this cool little back cover. But this album, along with The Wall and Dark Side of the Moon, are like my big three essential Pink Floyd albums. Animals was pretty cool when I listened to it, but it wasn't really up to the other ones, so that's why I don't have it on vinyl. And then the other album I listened to, Momentary Lapse of Reason and what was the Bell one? Those ones were kind of meh for me. So I mean, this one is one of their albums I consider peak. And it was actually really hard for me to even figure out because I usually do the three top songs and then the bottom song. In between the fact that this album has pretty much one song that's split into 9 parts in the first 5 play at the beginning and then the last parts play at the end. The format is a little weird, but I mean, I really like it for the full album listening experience. But yeah, it was hard for me to really say there was a bad track or a skip because, I mean, it's a very short, concise album. If I had to say the one song that really doesn't stay in my rotation is Shine On You Crazy Diamond, just because, if I were to pick out a song, I wouldn't pick out the song that's, multiple parts. But, I mean, my top 3 would have to be the title track, Wish You Were Here, Have a Cigar, Welcome to the Machine. Those are the more just standard length tracks. And the instrumentation on this is amazing. And I do kind of like the themes of the songs. But, I mean, overall, great album. What's more to say? Nothing too crazy about the disc. So that's why I don't really usually show off the vinyl unless it's something, special. I have a couple albums which are special editions, so they have something. But if I get to it, I'll tell you. Otherwise, we'll just keep it at that. But the next one, going from 1975 to 2000, we got another non-rap album and another experimental album. We got Kid A by Radiohead. So that's the front cover. Got the weird mountains looking thing. Inside's even weirder mountains looking. In the back you got whatever the hell this hoopla is with the track list. But I mean, yeah, this is an album which, I've always heard about Radiohead. But, you just hear the one song Creep and you're like, okay, that's all their music. So, never really was interested. And then I just hear a lot of discourse about this being their best album and a really good experimental album and really shifting away from their old sound. So I'm like, okay, let's see it. And I was really surprised. It did challenge me. It was an album that kind of had to grow on me. The first time I listened to it, I was like, I mean, it's cool, but there were a lot of songs that I guess hadn't really grown on me, and now it's probably one of my most played albums this year so far. Or, well, not this year so far, but the past 2 months. It's been probably my most listened to album. very unorthodox instrumentation, very like I guess freeform. It's not gonna really stay conformed to I guess normal music structure, normal song structure, but there's still a lot of good emotion and good instrumentation in here. And yeah, I don't know, top 3. I was about to say, I feel like I'm missing something. So my bottom track, if I had to say one skip, it's actually hard, so I'd honestly say Tree Fingers. And so that's the one like anomaly on here. Let's see, you can't even see it. The one anomaly on here is Tree Fingers, and all of this, like, the songs kind of go together. And then they just randomly put in an ambient song, just smack dash in the middle of the track list. And that was kind of, like, I mean, it's not bad. It sounds good to my ears, but just, in comparison to the rest of the album, it doesn't really hold up. My top 3 would probably have to be Idiotech. It'd have to be How to Disappear Completely. And then I'm kind of torn. I'm going to add in 2 songs here. I'm going to add Optimistic and In Limbo, because how they like fuse together, it's pretty much one song in my opinion, so I'm just going to do that. But I mean, great album. Now we're moving back into the rap, back to more of what I mainly listen to, even though I've been trying to expand, and I have been expanding my music taste. I still got to get the classics out of the way, and I don't think there's a modern rap album that might be more classic than this. We got Man on the Moon 2 by Kid Cudi. See at the front, got in here some weird stuff, and then the back, it's like a movie kind of poster, and I really like how it shows how the tracks are sequenced in the track list. So you got part 1, The World I'm Ruling, part 2, A Stronger Trip, part 3, Party On, part 4, The Transformation, part 5, You Live, You Learn. So it kind of just like divides up the track list into, I guess, how the songs were supposed to be. You never get that on streaming, so it's cool to have that here. But I mean, overall, as much as I love Man on the Moon 1, first of all, I mean, I just got it partly for this cover, but I just love the darker atmosphere and the production on this. Like, Man on the Moon 1 is a lot more uplifting, a lot more, like, inspirational, more welcoming, but, dude, just the music on this, like, some of Cudi's best vocals, in my opinion, in the form of hooks, and even some of his best rap performances, like, all around. I feel like it's a really strong album, really consistent, doesn't really have many down points. The one song I'll say I'm not really a big fan of is Maniac. The instrumental is really good, but I just feel like the verses and like the chorus are a little shaky for me, and they're just not the strongest, but it's still a good song, just compared to everything else, not really there. My top 3. Man, this is hard. So I gotta throw Mr. Rager, even though it's like probably his most popular song. So be like, oh, normie choice. It's most popular for a reason. Mr. Rager. The intro with CeeLo Green, Scott Mescudi vs. The World. That song goes undeniably hard. And then number 3, I'll probably have to say Mojo So Dope. A very chill beat. I love that sample. Or if it's like a vocal line, whatever. I mean, yeah. Overall, you just got a pretty laid back. You got some like bangers on here, but great album. Whoop. Almost dropped it. Alright, next album. Going to 2015. We got A$AP Rocky's At Long Last ASAP.
Every night I stayed up, saved to pray, you made me greater. Let's say we're chasing green for collard greens and baked potatoes on the table. Pray for cable, hit the label, now we major high. I got my own relationship with God, Lord.
So that's the front, that's the inside, that's the back with Baby Yams. But I mean, as far as like a psychedelic rap album goes, I don't think there's really anything that can top this. Maybe Rodeo. But I mean, damn dude, this album, as far as like the production and the songwriting and like the features, especially like this dude Joe Fox, I'd like never heard of him. and then he's all over this album with the vocals, and he kills it. A$AP Rocky, I wouldn't say he's like the most profound lyricist, most profound whatever, but I mean, as far as like fitting the vibe of the beats, whether it's chill or whether it's like, you know, a more turn up song, he really nails it on the head. The features, again, are great. If I had to say my least favorite song on here, it's honestly kind of hard, but I'd just say, I'd probably say West Side Highway. That song is just kind of like the most low-key and not really in a good way. It just kind of exists in the track list. It's not something that, you know, when I think about this album, I'm not really like thinking about putting that song on. When I am thinking about this album, I'm thinking of putting on Holy Ghost, which is the intro, one of my favorite beats from this album. And I feel like the subject matter, you know, Rocky's probably some of my favorite rapping on here for his verses. Number 2, I'd have to say M's. That Lil Wayne verse alone, that's one of the best verses that year. And I mean, Lil Wayne just can't really ever fall off in skill-wise. I mean, like, he just bodied that verse. And then number 3, I'd probably go with LSD. I mean, again, it's like the normal pick to choose, but that song, you just float when you play that. I mean, overall, that's at long last A$AP. Up next, the second to last album came out in 2018, and that is Damn by Kendrick Lamar.
The shock value of my success provokes in me. All this money is God playing a joke on me. Is it for the moment and will he see me as jokes? Take it from me and leave me worse than I was before. At 27, my biggest fear was losing it all. Scared to spend money, had me sleeping from hard to hard. Scared to go back to Section 8 with my mama stressing. 30 shows a month and I still won't buy me no Lexus.
So I mean, that's the front cover. Got the inside. Damn! And then we got the back. And as you guys may have noticed, this is an edition that comes with this green vinyl, which is pretty cool. But yeah, damn. Damn. I mean, this album was the first Kendrick album that I fully ever listened through to, which is kind of a damn shame to say because, you know, I've heard, you know, a lot of Good Kid, Mad City at the point, but I never just sat down and listened to it. But this came out, you know, when I was actually like fully on streaming services, so I was like, why not? And then after that, went back through. So it has that for me. And then also, this just has some like really good solo track, well, not solo tracks, but, you know, tracks to pull out of it. Whereas I feel like some songs on To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City, they feel more like when you listen to them outside of the context of the full album, they don't really hit as hard. Whereas this one, it's got a lot of replayability in the fact of just like individual songs. It's very versatile in where Kendrick's showing a lot of like skill in different areas of rap. If I had to say my least favorite song, it'd probably be Love. I mean, again, I don't think there's any song on here that's bad. I don't think there's any song on here that has like a weak subject matter. That's just like the song that I play the least. That's a song that I probably enjoy the least. You know, his flow is a little lackluster just compared to all the greatness on this album. As far as my top 3 songs, I'd have to say Fear, I'd have to say Duckworth, and I'll say Pride. I was thinking XXX just because, I mean, the YouTube part's crazy, and the beat in the first half is absolutely, like, monstrous, but Pride is the song that I do listen to more, so I gotta give it to that, even though, like, my current one, I'd put XXX on it, but it's all time, so we got Pride, we got Fear, and we got, Duckworth, amazing storytelling. It's just really one of his most, like, I guess, easy to follow stories too. There's some other songs we've made where he's telling a story where you kind of got to read the lyrics. This is one you can just fully listen through, you know what's going on. Fear is just like a really, really deep song. It's just talking about his fears at 3 different points in his life, and I guess how fear has just affected him throughout his life. And then, you know, Pride, talking about, I guess, how Pride, you know, is the devil and all that shit. But that song, just soundscape wise, I've never heard or never would have expected a Kendrick song to sound like that. You know, Steve Lacy, shouts out to you. He kind of killed his part on that. But yeah, that's Damn. Anyways, the last album, which came out in 2021, and this was an album that really came to me as a surprise because I never really heard much else from the artist. And this album is The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad.
No matter what can happen, what happened and have a purpose. Translate for you scratching the surface, motherfucker. I need my payback.
So, there's the front. I love this album cover, by the way. This is another one which I kind of got for the album cover, as well as the music. There's the back with the track list. This was actually my first introduction to Isaiah Rashad, even though it's his most recent album. And I don't know, he's just never an artist that I guess crossed my path and was something that I was interested in. And then, when this album came out, I just saw a lot of hype around it. And, a lot of people were like, oh, this is a really good album. And I was like, let's just try it out. Let's expand my taste a bit. And I mean, damn, bro, am I happy that I decided to do that. Because this album, it's still heavy in my rotation ever since it came out. It's got some super, super chill songs. And it's also got a lot of songs that are kind of reminiscent of more old school South Memphis production. And I do love that mix of the more lo-fi and Memphis production. It really just, it hits. If I had to say my least favorite song would honestly have to be From the Garden, which is sad to say because, I'm a big Uzi fan as well. But I just feel the song was too repetitive for me in this album where there's a lot of variety. The beat didn't really change up much. The flow stayed the same for the entire song. Uzi did have a good verse, but Isaiah's part, it's he does his first verse, it's the same exact flow. Uzi comes in, so it's a kind of a switch up. And then Isaiah comes back in and just keeps doing the same exact flow from earlier. So that song kind of gets boring to me. My top three though, HB2U, I'd say Headshots for the Locals, and I'd say Claymore. HB2U, I love that double-sided song. Both sides are just extremely chill. And man, when that beat switch hits you just right, especially listening with some good headphones, woo! Woo! What'd I say? The second one, Headshots. That hook, it just loops through my mind constantly. The production is just super smooth and sleek. And I really love his flow on the verses and the backing vocals for the hook. Ooh! And then Claymore, one of my favorite hooks again. I just love the atmosphere of the song. Smino's verse is really good. Isaiah does his thing. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I did try to make this a little shorter where I'm not talking as in depth about the albums because the last time it took me over 30 minutes to get through 6 albums. This time it's looking about 20-ish, so that's good, but if you made it this far, this rip's for you. Let me know if there's any albums you want to recommend me to listen to, if there's any albums you want to hear my opinion on, let me know down in the comments below. We're really close to 100 subscribers. If you want to subscribe, please do it. We're damn near at 100. If I do it, if I get 100, I'm smoking a whole eighth in one sitting. Let's go. Cheers. Nice blinky of the FaZe Rain pen, and I'm on my way. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Dunk out.